expert discussions on trending stories.
Good afternoon and welcome to Let's Talk on Atlantic Television Network. Let's Talk is a people-oriented show designed to communicate core issues centered on trends and to whom it may concern per time. Today on Let's Talk, we'll look at these stories. Actually, we have very interesting stories today, and I can't wait to delve into them with my colleagues. The first one is sex. I love men who use erotic toys on me, Atn Lapinki says. And on relationship, I'm attracted to poor women. They are so fatal, Ugo Wokolo says. We're open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Joining me on the show today is Otaria Ruth, a broadcast journalist. Good afternoon, Otaria, and welcome.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, and hello, viewers.
And I also have with me Mary Jane Wanko, a broadcast journalist. Good afternoon, Mary Jane.
Good afternoon.
Both of you ladies are looking really good.
Thank you.
And on to the story. Content creator and disc jockey Ada Ebere, aka Atn Lapinki, has said that she prefers men who use sex toys on their partners. In an interview with Saturday Beats, she said, "If you get a man that uses toys on you when you are doing it, you have got the greatest man ever." Men often believe that using sex toys will get you addicted and you will not want the real thing again. But that's a lie. I love a man that knows how to use toys on me. The heavily endowed lady also maintained that she was satisfied with her body, saying, "I don't get intimidated by that at all because I know my body is pretty and if it gets bad, I will get it done. One should get one body done if one feels uncomfortable." On Nollywood's portrayal of nudity and sex scenes, Atn Lapinki said, "Nollywood is doing an amazing job and the actresses are all fire. I don't think they represent just being sexy. We have different types of movies that are not based on nudity, just the same way we have them in Hollywood." Now, moving on, Altaria. I know you... What do you have? What is your view on this statement by Atn Lapinki?
Now, I would say for starters, let's begin from preference.
Okay.
Right. There's a core thing she mentioned in the story that I want to address as regards men saying that women that use sex toys do not eventually, at the end of the day, enjoy sex with men. I think that is not true. Right? Because when women use toys, or when women advocate that, okay, I want to use a toy, it's because certain women in certain climes have never experienced orgasm, as it were. Right? It is not an easy thing when you say you meet someone. Some people get married to people without actually having coitus prior to the marriage, on one hand. On the other hand, for the people that even, get into coitus, people marry for several reasons. This person is a nice man. This person is a caring man. And certain ladies, even till now, so I'm talking about some people that have been married for 15 years, have not been able to achieve orgasm. So many of these women go for those sex toys to actually self-satisfy themselves and at least for one time experience some form of orgasm, right? Now, when men say that women at the end of the day do not they don't knock on the door, they just want to enter the door. We cannot remove the role of foreplay in sexual relations, of which an inanimate object does not kiss a person. An inanimate object does not hug a person. And a sex toy is an inanimate object.
So the sex toy cannot fulfill the emotional needs.
Cannot fulfill the emotional needs of
that
a person.
Actual coitus will fulfill.
That actual coitus will fulfill.
And right.
If someone gets a partner, right, that is proactive and forward-thinking, for example, for the sake of the show, I would say organs come in different sizes. For some people, they would appreciate a larger organ for satisfaction. Depends on their background and where they are coming from. For some other people, they have no preference, and they learn with the tide in relationships when they get into them.
All right.
Now, even though, like you rightly said, an inanimate object cannot fulfill emotional needs, having emotional needs satisfied save women from lots of stress. Number one, I feel that many people that go to their offices or their workplaces or their businesses constantly upset and not sexually satisfied.
All right. Now that's a conspiracy theory. But we still get to that. But before we get to all that after effect of not having coitus, let me hear from Mary Jane. Mary Jane,
yes.
What is your take on this?
Well, Adela Pinky, she's not wrong at all, because most women prefer men who knows how to, not who use it, who knows how to make use of their sex toys on them. And you notice that, I don't know if I'm speaking for everybody, some women don't enjoy penetration so much. That is the truth. And you can't, just like she said, you can't come into a door. You have to, how do I put it? You have to
knock on the door.
Do you understand? You have to prepare it so that when you are coming,
and you need a sex toy to prepare the door.
Exactly.
You need a sex toy.
Yes, ma.
Right,
see, we cannot overemphasize the importance of sex toys. Sincerely, for some people that, you know, like their partners, like she used the word organ, is like very little. When you have a sex toy, you can be able to cope, you know, manage and, you know, go through it so well. I don't know if you understand. Do you get? And you know, sex toys, they'll have like different categories and types and various varieties of sex toys. And, you know, for me, I don't think I'll be with a man that doesn't know how to use sex toys, because it's of great importance. And have you seen a woman who has reached, you know, climax, and a woman who has not even for months or weeks? There is a clear difference. There's a huge difference. So I feel like even without men using it on you, ladies, you need to have this. You need to have it, you know, can go around with them and, you know,
go around with them.
Yes, yes. And, you know, I think she said something like, you get addicted to, some people say,
men worry about
that. You get, it's not true. Because if you're a busy lady, you might just use it once, 2 times in a week. But it's really important. It's very, in fact, I feel like each family should, you know, get a sex toy.
Each family should get it.
Yes.
Each family, Mary Jane.
Yes.
Each family. Isn't that extreme at this point?
Yes, it's really important.
Okay,
yes.
Very well. But then, I have a very different view to all of that.
Okay.
But then, that is my view. First of all, I feel that the concern about women getting addicted to these sex toys, the concerns are genuine, actually, because one would say the level of intensity of pleasure these sex toys will give a lady, you know, the vibrations and all that. Like, what organ can a man possibly use to match up the vibration of a machine? What can a man actually do, or a human being actually do, to match up the intensity that these sex toys bring? I mean, I've read a lot of stories about even accidents that have occurred as well as a result of these sex toys as well. I think one lady, I read her experience on a dildo she bought. She was actually electrocuted. And she lived to tell the story, and it was actually hilarious to read, but it's a real life experience of what she went through, and it landed her in the hospital, and she had to, you know, have that place properly taken care of for a while. But then when you look at it critically, to a large extent, I feel that if you are, or if your body adjusts to a certain level of frequency, a certain level of intensity, when the actual real human being touches you, it will feel like a child's play. Like, you don't even get to properly react to these things. I've also, you know, read of, you know, these stories on social media when they will say, please hide my identity. I've also read a story, you know, to that effect, where a lady was actually addicted to sex toys, and, you know, she can't lubricate when she's having coitus with the husband unless, you know, sex toys it becomes involved. So I think we are nearing a situation in relationships and possibly marriage where men will have to compete with toys for the attention and the bodies of their wives and their partners, don't you think?
Now, you raised some really salient points, and I'll start from the first one that I can remember. Now, you talked about accidents using sex toys as regards to someone's post, which is something that can happen. Planes crash. Planes crash, but we get into planes.
What's the frequency of the plane crash?
Cars have accidents every day. Actually, trailers fall, but we buy fuel. Because
some drivers are careless.
What I mean is, adverse reaction for everything you do, good or bad. There's always a consequence. Now, because one person's, circumstance or a few people doesn't still depict that sex toys are relevant in current society. Now, I'm going to cite it as regards many busy professionals. Certain people go to their offices. Women now are technically leaders of organizations. Women are growing vastly. Back then in the time of Flora Nwakpa advocating for women's growth and all of that. Right now, women are kind of leaving most of that. Not as much as we want, but it's a step. We are closer in the step in the right direction. When women come back home, exhausted and tired, they need some form of coitus. And if they need some love, and a man is not available, a sex toy is a good way to go about it.
Can a sex toy give you emotional satisfaction?
Now, what I mean, I'm going to cite emotional satisfaction very soon. But what I'm talking about is one of the benefits, I'll say, that makes people...
It helps to distress.
Other than distressing, it saves you multiple sexual partners. Given that these times there's HIV, there is what they call all of those ones. Lots of warts, there are viral warts, there are lots of ailments going around sexually. Now, a vibrator that you use alone cannot give you any of those sort of
depending on the hygiene of the user.
Of course, an adult female. Now, I'm not talking about children. An adult female should know how to care enough for herself in a way that she should know how to care. Also, some of these vibrators, I even think you can even wash over the tap and wash it off properly and keep it neat and tidy. Now, on the emotional hand, I will feel disappointed in a man that feels that a vibrator is coming to snatch a woman. Women are emotional beings. Like I said earlier, a vibrator does not kiss anybody. All of the range of the sex toys, it doesn't give you a hug. Now, it baffles me when a man thinks that the end goal for a day is to come home and just have sex. In my perspective, sex begins in the morning when you wake up. For people in a marital situation, how does it begin in the morning? The man's behavior from morning till leading to the night when he comes back. Is he calling? You can't be grumpy and come on to someone to want to have sex. It's impossible. It's made women more, because some men will be like, I will stab her sexually. But if a woman has access to these sex toys, if she has access to purchasing these things to give herself some joy, it's just in recent times that many women are now going out and having multiple affairs. Women were usually one man and they are just very comfortable. Despite the fact.
All right, let's just look at it from this perspective.
Okay.
I will use the phone and the internet as an example.
Okay.
Because it appears that we are moving to a point where we now rely a lot on machines and virtual reality as against human relations and interpersonal communication. For example, you come into a family seated at a dining table and every single person is on internet, pressing phone, communicating to people all around the world, but not actually communicating
with each other.
With each other as they are seated in that space. You find a situation where even in homes, the mother will be the parents, everybody's home, but the children would rather be in their different rooms, on the computer, either playing games with some person somewhere, or chatting with some other person somewhere, and you also see the wife on the phone chatting with some other person, or in a group chat you see the man as well doing the same thing. So what happens at the end of the day is that there is a transition from actual communication with actual human beings to communication with people who are miles and continents away. Meanwhile, your real-time relationship is suffering and dying. Right. Now, let's liken it to bringing in sex toy into a relationship. You know, a situation where now your partner is no longer enough for you. Let's even look at it, because you know, men were being touted as being able to remove emotions and have sex with any woman of their you know, liking, and no strings attached. Aren't women also now, you know, transitioning into that? Because now it's all about sexual satisfaction and not the emotional connection. If we are to look at sex for what it truly is, from the humane angle, it's a language.
All right.
Okay. Actually, it's a language. That's why some people say sex. I would rather to say you make love to someone you care about, you deeply you are connected to. It's a different setting entirely. It's a communication. It's a way of bonding. Now, when you bring in toys to a large extent, yes, one may say to spice up your sexual life with your partner, because probably it's boring. Probably it's boring because you don't think outside the box, or probably it's boring because, to a large extent, sometimes accumulated resentment, unresolved issues.
But it also takes two to tango.
Yeah, I know.
What if the partner is not interested in improving? Now,
that's a different ball game altogether. But I am looking at the human angle of this entire thing, and the fact that these objects, just like phone and internet, has taken away a chunk of our humanity.
All right.
And I'm seeing that this might be what is going to play out when the level of advocacy for sex, and by the time this sex toy is like Mary Jane is advocating, it should be in every single family. What it will do to couples at the end of the day. Don't you think it's going to take away true intimacy? And the language that, you know, coitus is actually supposed to speak between the partner or the married couple in this instance.
You know, when I began this discourse, I would have left this for Mary Jane, but let me put a few in.
Yeah, Mary Jane was right on.
Before I push it to Mary Jane. When we began with this, you know, discourse, I said it is not central to all families. Like marriage, some people are enjoying marriage, despite my marriage is not working, cry all over the internet. There are some people that are having a ball in their marriage. So for me, it begins with the person you're with. Preference in the beginning. I like this person because of ABCD reasons. If one decides, now many single girls are currently using sex toys. They are all married. Like I said, some people use...
And a lot of them are in relationships as well.
Some of them are in relationships. Some people are like, instead of dating Femi, James, and Kunle, let me just come.
You know, just ease off.
You know, let me just arrive there. Let me just get there on my own accord in the meantime, while I wait for the person.
Yes.
Right? Now, when I feel that where I'm going to fall in muchly with you is, if the women meet men, let me say I, for one, for example, let me say I buy these toys or I have them in stock. If I meet someone, I want to tell the person, oh, I've been using this sort of thing. It's up to the brother to say, you've been using this sort of thing. How are we going to do it? Do you want to teach me how to use it on you? Or do you want us to try what we have and see if there is a way, you know, open communication.
All right.
Given that it's not a restrictive thing where you're going to now say, because of sex toys, there's no love. I feel like love is more deep. Family, I agree with you as regards, you know, everybody. TikTok was down in America for a few days, and everything I could see on the internet was people, especially on one of these their big social media places, where people were saying everyone should go back to talking to their family. Go and take care of your children. Some people were really happy TikTok was down because people feel like that social media app in itself has taken a lot of people from, you know, regular life, and they don't want to talk. People don't call their parents, but that is what it is now. That is, for, like I said, for every good thing, there's also a bad thing. Right. When the internet came, Shebi is helping us to do some things. Because AI, for example, is here, doesn't mean that people should drop everybody from their offices. AI is only here to make work better. Same way dildos and vibrators and sex toys.
Yes.
All right. Mary Jane said sex toys are enhancers. I just heard you say use the word enhance. So go ahead.
they enhance us. I feel like she literally said everything that I would have loved to say. So
basically, you
I wouldn't want to say more because, you know, I might be so raw to this conversation. So let's just move to the next.
All right. Very well. Mr. Nigeria supranational Ugonwokolo has encouraged men to consider marrying women from less privileged backgrounds. The model shared this perspective during the latest episode of the Honest Bunch podcast. Wokolo expressed a personal preference for women from humble beginnings, emphasizing their simplicity and dedication as qualities that attract him. He noted that women from poorer backgrounds are more likely to demonstrate commitment to their partners through gestures such as early morning prayers. Also, he cited fertility as another reason, claiming that women from less privileged backgrounds tend to have higher fertility rates. Hear him. Poor girls turn me on. The poorer the girl, the more attracted I am to her. It is only a poor woman that will wake up by 7 a.m. to pray for you. Marry a poor woman because when it comes to fertility, poor women can be so fertile. Mary Jane.
This is the... you don't even need to ask me. This guy is... I don't know if I should say he's so dumb because what's the meaning
No,
of
don't
this?
use that language, dumb.
I'm so sorry to say that because why would you say that the poorer the woman, the sweeter the woman? What did he even
The
say?
more fertile.
The more fertile the woman.
The more she's able to pray for you by 7 a.m.
That mindset is very... I don't know. Is he married? I don't think the young man is married.
Nah,
and I know it's people like this. That's how he will be going around using so many girls and dropping them. Why would he say something like that? I feel like this statement, he feels intimidated, maybe by rich
women,
successful women, thriving women. Because why would you say something like this? He feels intimidated. Maybe he might have had an encounter with someone that, you know, is more financially stable than he is, or something like that, and it didn't turn out well. That's why he made a statement like this. And when he was saying poor women, I need to understand poor women as how, like a jobless woman, a woman that has nothing to do for herself, or do you understand? Because I really don't get this.
Probably her income bracket.
No, that's so wrong. That's so wrong to see women that way. Honestly, why would he categorize woman, a poor woman and rich woman and this and that? That doesn't really make sense. I believe that every woman is fertile, every woman is sweet, and every woman has a man for her.
Right. Very well. Otaria, while I was reading, you were laughing. May I know what's going on in that mind of yours?
For starters, this statement by this man just goes to show the height at which patriarchy still occupies us as a people. The thoughts of what men think about women shows glaringly. The classism is widely at play. The constant sites to fertility. Pray for me. Where is his mother that his mother is not praying for him?
Ask that again.
Where is his mother that his mother is not waking up by 7 to pray for him? I feel that men have way too many expectations.
I think you should say some men, not don't generalize.
Well, some men
have
way too many expectations of women. Right. And the idea that a woman must be well subjugated under a man, must be drowned, I think that mindset needs to change. Many men need to move on from that mindset because currently many women are breadwinners of families. Yes. Many women are handling their families, their extended families, and women are making big impact all over the world. Now, men like this that come up with this archaic thinking, it's usually said that it's a man's world. It is not really an argument whether it's a man or a woman's world, but everybody can coexist at their pace. Now, his constant clamor, there are many wealthy women that have... How many children does Elumelu have with his wife? Are they poor? How many children does Obi Kubana have with his wife? Are they poor? Are those poor women? The constant thought that women need to be put in this pot that certain men, you know, constantly want to lock women is rather sad to see, and brings to the question what kind of children women raise in these times. As this man is a social figure, having won an international competition of this magnitude, you would expect that he would be more civil in his discourse. Now, his perception of constantly citing that, you know, the poorer the woman, the sweeter the juice. A woman, when a woman meets a man...
He said the poorer, the more fertile.
The poorer, the more fertile. The poorer, the hard prayer. Doesn't make any sense. All of these things he's mentioned are good virtues that women should have. Should you pray for your spouse? Of course. Right? Should you, when you're in a marriage, should you have children for your spouse? I feel that infertility problems can happen to anybody.
Any gender.
Any gender. Any lady can go into a marriage and now say, okay, I'm unable to have. Sometimes even, why do we even usually cover it up? For many situations, sometimes it's even the men's fault that the woman is unable to get pregnant. And these men refuse to go for these checkups, probably because, you know, women are always my biological clock, so women are always running the trail. But this, his perception of the citing of the incident is totally preposterous.
All right, very well. And you're really on a tangent. But then I'm looking at it from probably a different perspective, and that's the perspective of a possible narcissist, you know, because one, and someone who is scared of development of his spouse. But let's look at it from the other angle. Who says it is the woman that has to wake up by 7 a.m. to pray for the man? Because the last time I checked, I will speak from the angle of Christianity because he is a Christian. And last time I checked in the Bible says that the man is the head of the household. Now, in the book of Genesis, when Adam ate the apple that Eve took from the serpent and gave to him, I never read anywhere in the Bible that God came and asked the woman what happened. God asked Adam what happened. Right. And Adam made the mistake of pushing the blame to the Eve instead of taking responsibility of a failed leadership role. Right? Now, last time I checked, when Aaron was being anointed in the Bible, the oil was flowing from the head. You know, last time I checked again, Jesus said when Paul was admonishing the early Christians, he told men to love their wives just as Christ loved the church and gave his life for her. So now it's expected that as a man, you're supposed to cover your family as the head. You know, but you know, when it comes to this part of the world, particularly in Nigeria, men would want to be the head when it's convenient. But when it takes sacrifice, like praying for your family, covering your family, doing the fasting and doing the prayer, should we talk about spiritual leadership? And probably this is part of the reason why the family system has degenerated into what it is. And probably that could explain why we are losing our children every day to the antics of social vices, because the men have not taken the position of the spiritual leader. They have not come to a point where they will be like, okay, nonsense stops in my family at this point in time. They have not come to, you just go get the money, come back, give your wife. Is there any other thing you lack? Nah. The moment he's bringing the bread home, he has done his job. The job of a man doesn't stop there. And that is why it is easy because let me sound religious at this point, because it's easy for the devil to attack the family. Actually, the family is under attack, not even the society, because the family is the microcosm of the society. Right. So it's a situation where men have refused to be the leader in the real sense of the word. So now, what is your vision? I am saying it for free. Do a voice pop and ask majority of men, what is your vision for 2025 for your family, and hear what they have to say, if they even have something to say. What is your vision for your family in this year, in the next 6 months? What is your goal in 6 months' time? And secondly, what is a woman going to subject or submit to? A woman submits to vision. A woman submits to leadership. When a man comes and says, I'm the man, for God's sake, you've lost it already. For the fact that you're reminding your wife and your children that you're the head of the family, you're not the head at that point in time. But when the man is the leader, when the man is the vision bearer and the vision carrier, every other person will fall in line to your vision. Imagine, let's even talk about, notice as attractive. One of the things women crave for the most is security. And one of the things that secures a woman in her man, that actually makes her submit to the man, is knowing that that man is my rock. Imagine sleeping in the night and waking up in the middle of the night to see your husband's hand on your head, praying for you and speaking life into you. Imagine a situation where probably I'm pursuing a particular contract, or I'm pursuing a particular job, or I'm having hiccups along the line. I should be able to trust my husband that if I call him right now, he will speak a word. And we are not even asking questions, because now men are crying that women respect and honor their pastors more than women respect and honor them, because these pastors have shown leadership. These pastors have shown direction. Whether it's misguided direction or not is discussion for another day. But a woman looks up to a man. A woman looks up to direction. A woman looks up. And when she's looking up and you're not there, she will naturally call. See, and this should be a rent check for every man. If your wife is having crisis and her pastor is on a speed dial, and not you, the husband, or the partner, you should question your leadership. You should question your vision on your family. You should question the fact that she doesn't, at that point, she doesn't even feel secure with you. To trust that I can come to you with this burden. To trust that I can come to you with this crisis, and to a large extent, if I drop this with my husband, it's settled. Have you noticed that when most women have issues, they would rather call their fellow women to rant without any solution? Or they call their pastors, or they go to a prayer house. And most of the times, men do not even know the crisis their women are dealing with. Because, again, the misconception and misunderstanding of the man and woman, the relationship comes to bear. A woman will come and rant for 5 minutes, and the man in his head is like, can you just round up? Like, okay, so what happened? Don't worry. What just happened at the end of the day? The moment you do that, you shut her down. You know, so it's a lot. And this is a pointer to persons like Ugobo Okolo when they stand and speak like this. I see someone who is not even a leader in the first instance. You know, you cannot build when I talk about human capacity development, when you bring a woman, what value? This is a user. This is a statement of a user. Exactly. You want to follow. You are more attracted to a poor woman because she's more fertile. Because a poor woman is dependent on you, and the only way she can solidify her stay, according to the patriarchal system, is by giving you more and more and more children, in order to have a sense of belonging and build security for herself in that house. So that's the definition of fertility. But a career woman wants to build career and also manage her family life, so she's not ready to give you plenty as you want. She would rather give you few and give them quality upbringing than give you a village and nothing comes out of it. That's why it's easy for persons like Ugobo Okolo to say that she believes she would rather marry a poor woman who wake up by 7 a.m. to pray for you. 7 a.m. because she has no vision. 7 a.m. because she's a housewife. 7 a.m. because there is no vision for the day. Her vision is you, your growth, your development, how your children grow, how they develop. How about her?
Which women get to regret in old age.
That's the question. How about her? So now that's a statement of a user, and clearly someone who lacks the capacity to develop a human being.
Yes.
And invest in a human being, and someone you call your better half. And you see, this is the reason why when men have crisis, to bounce back is hard, because when you were supposed to empower your wife, you did not. So when the chips are down, there is no backup anywhere. There is no backup anywhere. I think it's time men begin to think in a different direction about some of these things. Your wife is your better half. To think that she's just there for you as a childbearing machine and as a prayer machine as well. That's the only thing a woman represents for this particular young man. Is really sad.
It's really sad.
Really sad. I didn't want to end this show on a very sad note, by the way.
That is really sad.
So, Ruth, as we round up, what do you have to say?
I feel that, well, since we're rounding up with Ugo's story, Ugo's report, I want to say that women should pick themselves up.
Yes.
There is no better time to start. Today is a day to start. Today is a day to start that business. Today is a day to start that vision. Today is a day to pick up your phone and not be a burden. You see these children that we constantly clamor that, oh, we are here for the children. Children grow up and children leave home. What then do you have? Women should pick themselves up in a way that they don't live lives of regrets. Make those friends. Talk to those people. Gather those contacts for yourself. And love your family. And one thing I would like to mention again today, before we round this up, it's always okay to leave if something no longer serves you. It's okay to walk away if something no longer serves you.
Okay.
You are sufficient, you're enough, and you're not alone. Thank you.
All right, well said. Mary Jane,
Yes.
as we round up.
And then adding to that, what you said, it's okay to leave. You know, most times women will be like, what will people say? What will people say? And all of that. People will definitely talk, even if you're still there. People will definitely talk, even if you leave. So at the end of the day, it's your happiness that matters. You are a person. God created you by your name. He knows your name. He knows He has a purpose for you. So put yourself first. To every woman out there, be strong. That's all I have to say.
All right. And for me, as we round up, it's just a very simple one out there. I think women should begin to, first of all, before you look for a relationship or someone, particularly before you look for someone or commit to someone, you know, lifelong commitments, discover yourself first. It's extremely important. Discover yourself. Discover what your limits are. Discover what you can and cannot take. And for crying out loud, try independence. Like, try to be financially independent, and you'll be so surprised that your choices will change. Believe me, what you found attractive when you were dependent on someone, when you were just taking crumbs from the table, will be very different from what will, you know, attract you when you become financially independent. And when I talk about financial independence, I'm not talking about you being a billionaire. For me, financial dependence is being able to foot your bills as they come, being able to take care of yourself and live, you know, at least above your income and be reasonably comfortable. And also have extra to take care of your parents, because that's very important. And if you're a single mother, financial independence is being able to take care of yourself, take care of your children or your child, and to a large extent, not really depend on anybody and not living a life of debt. It's very, very important that women discover themselves. Time to network, time to go all out, like time to pursue that dream. Like Otaria said, it's never too late. It's never too late. Genuinely, it's never too late. Even if you feel that, imagine if women, particularly those women who used to, or who usually tie wrapper to stay back home, you know, suddenly start dressing well, start making their hair, start looking good, start going out, you know, you will find out that the same husband you feel is no longer attracted to you will be so jealous that he will take the extra mile to keep you and do what it takes to, you know, I think women, we have to come to a point where we understand that the energy you give is what you're receiving. You are being treated exactly the way you treat yourself. Even the Bible says that deep calleth unto deep. Right? So if you are an anyhow person, trust me, you will get anyhow person. But if you want to go higher, then it's time you package yourself. It's time you aim higher. In fact, aim as high as you can. So when you don't get to that point and you fall, you will not fall low to the ground. You fall at a place that you will be comfortable at least. This is very important. I'm glad we actually did have this conversation.
I am.
It's long overdue.
I also have one quick thing to add. Parents should love on their children. Women are never a liability. women can do exploits. Women can grow. For women and men sitting out there and saying, nah, just girl. No, that's not the case. Women are changing the world. We almost had a U.S. president just now that is a woman, you know. She did go far. She tried her best. There are many countries that have female presidents. Parents should be open-minded to receive their children back when marriages do not work. The support alone can help women stand back and be the best they can
And
be.
the lack of support, most times it's what
and the
makes
lack of
women
support,
die,
exactly,
particularly in marriages with domestic abuse.
Exactly.
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 Because, I mean, who are you going back to? You call your family, they'll say, stay there. And you still have your younger ones, they are not married though. So when you come out now, you carry bad luck, and then they will not, nobody will want to marry them because you couldn't stay in your marriage. You know, a lot of things, societal stigmatization. But then that is conversation for another day. Women-related issues, gender-related issues, both male and female. I mean, I think probably one day we'll periscope on the men and, you know, abuse on the men and why men are not speaking out. Right. I think that conversation is long overdue. But thank you so much, Mary Jane. Thank you so much, Ruth, for coming. It's a pleasure having both of you today on Open Call. I hope you enjoyed Let's Talk.
We did. This was amazing. Amazing discourse.
Even though it ended on a very sober note. And thank you so much, our viewers, for always staying connected to us. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. See you same time next week on this show. Bye for now.
Bye.
In politics,